welcome back to Anime Academy. In the last 2 episodes, we've taken a look at 2 of the most common kinds of animation in anime, character and mechanical animation. Today we're looking at how animators add effects animation to these sequences. Character and mechanical animation are usually the stars of the show, but anime is also famous for its elaborate effects. Think of them like special effects in live-action movies. They form a layer of motion on top or behind of the main action that accentuates and draws attention to it. And just like movie special effects, sometimes a really cool effect can steal the show. In a previous episode, we talked about how animators make actions feel real by giving them consequences in the form of follow-through motions. Well, they can also add those consequences using effects. An attack might shoot out bolts of electricity, or an explosion might create a massive plume of smoke. Increasing the intensity of the effect can increase the intensity of the entire scene, making it stick out from the rest of the show. Smoke, fire, and water are some of the most common kinds of effects, as all 3 are fluid motions, so drawing them can be really complicated. Animators need to keep track of how different forces like wind and gravity affect each part of the shape and make it all flow from moment to moment. Sometimes teams will avoid these complex hand-drawn effects entirely and sub in CG animation or live footage. And of course, there are a ton of different ways to draw explosion effects. Some animators use anticipation to build up to a single big bang, while others construct multi-step explosions with clouds of smoke that expand over time. One of the effects that anime is most famous for is impact frames, which are single frames in the middle of an action that flash for a moment and grab the audience's attention. They're all about creating contrast, so they're often drawn in black and white or with inverted colors. Each artist has their own way of drawing impact frames. Some people produce simple colored shapes while others create detailed stylized drawings. Either way, the frame shows up for a split second before the scene moves along, but if you freeze frame it at the right time, you can catch a glimpse of these beautiful works of art. Sometimes a director might also want to call attention to a scene by moving the camera around. In live-action film, this is pretty straightforward, but in anime, camera movement relies on background animation. Instead of moving the characters on top of a static background, the animator will redraw everything every frame, changing the camera angle a little bit each time. In 2D animation, this is an incredibly difficult and time-consuming process, but the dynamic camera angles are worth the extra effort. Effects in background animation are really time-consuming, but many animators are able to draw them in addition to animating characters or mecha in the same scene. That's because in anime, individual animators are usually in charge of the entire scene. This isn't as common in Western animation, where animators often specialize in just the characters or the effects. If you've ever noticed a jarring shift in how anime characters are drawn from scene to scene or episodes to episode, that's why. Some animators do have specialties like water effects or mecha transformations, but because scenes usually include multiple subjects, most Japanese animators are generalists who can handle lots of different kinds of animation. It's one more thing that makes anime such a unique art form. And that's it for effects animation. If you liked this episode, remember to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite examples of effects animation in anime. I'm Rena Scully, and thank you so much for watching.